Hey guys, it's Tommy CM, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of FUNFAIR Frenzy. This episode is just going to be putting in two new flat rides and just kind of editing and expanding, should we say, the sort of circulation area or the main paths around the park. So here I'm just building a path around the vintage cars ride we put in the previous episode. And I've got a bit of space here, so I decided to use this to put a little toilet block in and a little staff building. My idea within this park is to not have many areas, if any at all, of sort of open space, just sort of grassland and terrain. So yeah, my idea here is to put a little outbuilding, nothing special, just a little wooden frame building, so that it doesn't look out of place. Just two little cubicles there, and just and that's what I'm really going for. Obviously, people aren't going to see these roofs just here, and yeah, it's just a case of tweaking and putting a bit of extra sort of staff room area in, because I've not actually got that many staff rooms in, and I've not got any toilet facilities around this side of the park. So yeah, I just wanted to expand on that so that once I open it up to the guests, which I am planning on doing in probably the next episode or the one after that, I want the guests to be sort of part of the park whilst I'm still sort of finishing it off, because I think it'll be nice to see the park in full swing whilst I am building it. Here, obviously, I'm just trying to put the path in as best as I can. Obviously, I'm trying to work around the haunted house ride and make sure that the path joins up properly and everything. It was a bit of an awkward shape to try and fix and work with, but we got there in the end with it. There was, I think, the only little bits we had here are these little areas here where I just end up filling this with small flowers. I put these bushes in. I realised they were a bit too big to be in those areas, so I end up taking those out and putting in some flowers. What I think I may do is put some planters in instead, because I do think that something like that, if it was in a real park, it'd be quite easy to walk on the flowers. So just for the sense of realism, I'll end up putting some planters in there. I also wanted to expand the path around the back of this flat ride here in the corner, behind the little seating area we've got on this edge of the park, and join that up. So there's quite a few different paths to get to a lot of the places within the park now. So I think that'll be useful, because other guests won't be using the same path as each other, and there won't be a lot of sort of guests congregating along the same sort of routes. So yeah, that's my thinking there. And again, I've just got a bit of open space here, so just decided to put some trees, put some bushes, just to fill in these gaps, just to again make it a little bit more realistic, and just so it doesn't look a bit bare really at the side of the paths. So yeah, here's the first flat ride. I've gone for this sort of what do you call these? A flying kite ride. I'm not quite sure on the terminology of these rides in real life. But yeah, I thought I'd go for one of these rides. It's nice size, circular ride, and I thought I'd go for the sort of. It's quite a popular design to have the queue line going around the base of a ride. It's a style you see in a few parks, so I thought I'd go for that here, and then have the main path circulating around the queue line. I thought by doing that, it kind of makes it fit in better. I don't know, maybe that's just in my head, but I think as the park expands a little bit further, it'll be nice that is kind of like a centerpiece, and you can walk all the way around it. You can see all the way around it. Just in these little gaps here, just decided to add a bit of planting, just to bring out a bit of colour and a bit of more decoration to this section of the ride. There wasn't really much else I could put in this section, so yeah, I decided to stick with the planting. And here's the planting just about finished. Then wanted a bit of fencing along the edge of the planting. So I didn't want a full height fence. I just wanted kind of a smaller one, so probably about knee height, and that's what I've gone for here. Decided as well on the queue line, I wanted to have I wanted to get rid of the standard railing that comes with the queue line, and I was thinking about putting different fencing in, and then I realised that because the queue line and the main path is that close to each other, I thought the best way to have a go at something different was to use rocks as a fence. not necessarily, you know, using it, I suppose, as a typical fence, but just as a way to segregate the main path from the queue line path. Obviously, when the guests are in, they will automatically know, because you know they are programmed to determine what a queue line is and what the normal path is. But I thought using the rocks as a bit of a barrier between the two paths and between the queue line and the planting area, I thought was it was just a different way of doing something compared to what I've done in other areas of this park. So yeah, I just wanted to try something new here. I think it works personally. I wouldn't use it on all the rides and attractions I've put in, but yeah, definitely works for this one. And as you'll see when I zoom out at the end, it certainly certainly does its job here really well. So yeah, this is pretty much the flat ride there. This is the second flat ride we've got in. Bit of a drop tower. So just need to expand the path around here. I will have to edit that fencing shortly. Now the queue line here, I wanted to have as a very much a grid type queue line. It's something I have done in this park, but I think it's like the reason I've gone for this quite a lot in this particular park is because it's quite a classical way of the queues were built. You know, queue lines nowadays are very much themed, and you know that they're a lot more sort of visually drawing your attention really. But yeah, I feel like this is sort of a classic layout, so I thought I'd do this and just put a bit of a roof over, very similar to what I've done in the Dodgems, just in the background there. And I thought if I put that in, put a few of these poles in. These are actually coaster supports, but I think they do a job as, you know, looking as supports for this roof really. So yeah, I thought I'd put some of this in just to give a bit of decoration and a bit of roof cover over the queue line, just so they weren't kind of just queuing on a random path in the middle of nowhere really. I think just putting anything like that in just allows a bit more decoration. It just looks a little bit nicer, that's all. It doesn't have to look fantastic, just looks a little bit nicer. So yeah, this is the queue line just about complete. And then from here it was a case of looking at the fencing. Now I wanted to go with this white and grey style that I've got kind of going on here. So I thought I'd go for this sort of metal and steel railing type fence. So yeah, I thought I'd go for that in a bit of a dark grey colour, just to match everything else on this ride. And yeah, I'm quite pleased, and this will probably be a corner piece of the park. I do want to expand the park going forward with. I'll probably put another coaster in, maybe something like a log flume. I feel something like that may fit, or maybe a go-kart. So they're sort of the three things I'm looking at next as the next sort of big ride to go in. So yeah, I've still got to weigh up what I want to do with those, but I don't want it. I don't want anything that is going to not mix with the park. You know, go-karts can fit in with a FUNFAIR style park quite easily. As can a log flume, but the coaster, I've got to be very careful that it's a style that will match this park. Obviously, as I say, because I want this to be sort of like the corner piece at the back, I wanted to put these trees in, and then I thought I'd use the terrain tool here just to kind of wrap around the ride almost. So you can see there it's built up along the edge of it, and I think the fact that the ride feels like tucked in, I think looks a lot better. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that does look there. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode. As I say, you know, this one was just about adding a few more rides, a few more different bits of decoration, different bits of styling compared to what I've done before, but still keeping things, you know, along those same sort of lines. Now, along the edge of the queue line here, I wanted to put some lights in. I didn't feel as though these colours matched the white and silver, so I thought I'd go for I thought I'd change the light colours just to brighten up the edge of the roof, as you can see here. And this is just about done. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, and the fact that the sky ride goes above, you know, over that ride and sort of around the drop tower. I think there's a really nice effect that, you know, those two rides can interact with each other quite easily. I think that, you know, as I say, I think it looks really nice like that. So yeah, now I've just got to extend this fencing that I put in previously just down the rest of the path here. And that is pretty much this area done for this episode. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you are new. There is plenty more episodes coming up, and please feel free to check out my other videos. And other than that, I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.